Allyship is not just a word. It has to be a part of our everyday behaviors and should be an expectation that is shown across organizations, again, if there is truly inclusive language. Good day, and welcome to this session on allyship. Being an ally truly is an opportunity to put forth your words into action. Your ability to be able to merely mean that you are emotionally intelligent, that you are trying to be an inclusive leader, and really provide an opportunity, as I said, to put forth action. Allyship is not just a word, it has to be a part of our everyday behaviors and should be an expectation that is shown across organizations, again, if there is truly inclusive language. It's supporting others, even if their personal identity is not impacted by a specific challenge or not called upon in a specific situation. So let's look at some terms. Ally has been thrown around as a word, and I'm not quite sure everyone knows what it truly means. As I said, an ally is any person that actively promotes and aspires to advance the culture of inclusion through intention, positive, and conscious efforts that promote people as a whole. Now, there are other words that kind of go along with it that are in the space, so let's look at a couple of those. Accomplice, someone who assists others in creating a space of inclusion, equity, and safety for all. That really often means at the risk of their own social and professional standing, and maybe even physical well being. Now, what we do not want are bystanders. That is someone who is present but does not take part in the situation or event, right? Literally spectating. And when we want to create inclusive cultures, we want to create cultures where there's solidarity and there are allies and accomplices. And again, not those that are just spectating and standing and watching by. So, what can you do? Since I said it was actionable, what can you do? Well, first, the very, very first thing you have to do is start by doing no harm. So that means as I look to underrepresented groups, and we talk about underrepresented groups, those could be by race, it could be by sexual orientation, it could be persons with disabilities, it could be older and experienced workers, refugees, immigrants, women, veterans, working parents, veterans, first generation. The list could go on and on. So again, when we talk about underrepresented groups, it could be across a multitude of dimensions of diversity. But the first thing you're going to do is start by doing no harm. So that means you're going to first what? Start to learn about those underrepresented groups. Try to learn, unlearn, and relearn kind of what you consciously know about those groups. So you may listen to individuals from those groups. You may read books about those individuals. You may do some research. You may attend some festivals. You may attend cultural experiences. But again, your first goal is I need to be educated so that I can do no harm. So I need to learn the language. I need to give people in those communities my full attention. As they talk, I don't want to interrupt. I want to be fully present. And ultimately, I'm going to even learn maybe what micro inequities or microaggressions are. And those are the small things that, again, provide a multitude of impact for individuals in those underrepresented groups. So, again, learning what those are by maybe what I say and not even realizing the impact they could have on individuals. So, again, your first step is do no harm. Your second step, if you want to be an ally, someone who is actively putting into action that they support underrepresented communities, you're going to advocate for those underrepresented groups in some way. So that could be very small ways, even when they're in a meeting at a workplace and someone is talking over them, as we call it mansplaining sometimes for women. You may intervene. You may say, excuse me, I think Sue had something to say, right? Or if you notice in the groups that it looks like the dominant culture of that particular organization, whatever that could be, it could be men or it could be by race, or it could be those that are persons without a disability are mainly doing all of the talking. You may stop and what? Invite someone to speak and say, "Hey, Florence, I haven't heard from you. What are your thoughts?" I may refer people, I may encourage people, right? If I know opportunities are coming up, I may refer them. I may have you talk to, have we considered? And all of those small ways are going to ultimately make allyship a habit. So you're going to be advocating, you're going to intervene, you're going to invite people to speak, you're going to refer and encourage, and even small ways of maybe even saying their name right. I have this story that I tell a lot of times when I teach that growing up all the way through high school, my high school counselor called me Francis. My name is Florence, right? And how that could have impacted me all the way through my life to the point now, if someone calls me Francis, even in the work environment, I got to do a double take, right? Because again, it's like, can you at least learn my name? Particularly people that have impact over us. So there are not huge ways that you have to do, just small ways, small pivots to make this actionable. And then the last thing that you're going to do, you're going to seek to change someone's life significantly. This means you've mastered not doing any harm. You've done all the small pivots, the small wins, and now you're ready to take this to a level where you truly, as it says, be an accomplice and actually truly put your personal capital, your professional capital on the line for someone. You're going to mentor. You're going to sponsor. You're going to speak their name in the room when no one else is speaking their name for an opportunity or a job. You're going to actually volunteer. You're going to get into these communities and actually give of your time and your service. And then ultimately, you're going to transform the way you do business for your team and your company. You're going to look for equitable ways. You're going to call out loud conscious policies and procedures that may be hindering someone from doing what they need to do effectively at their job based upon their underrepresented group. You're going to expend your personal capital and say, even if it costs me, I'm going to do this in order to change someone's life significantly. If you do all of these things, start by doing no harm, advocating for underrepresented groups in small ways, and changing someone's life significantly, then yes, you can walk around with that badge of true allyship. Don't just say it, let's do it. Actionable, active ways that we seek to intervene, to call out things that are happening to these underrepresented groups, and ultimately seek, as I said, to change someone's life significantly. Join us on the allyship journey as you continue to do this. And again, look for all the small ways and big ways that you can make an impact on someone's life.